So on July 10th, we started receiving phone calls that there was a stranded animal in the surf, approximately 9-10 o'clock in the morning. The Vancouver Aquarium mobilized a rescue team, went out to Chesterman's beach to evaluate the situation. We found an animal determined to be a false killer whale calf in the beach, unable to right himself. Previous attempts to refloat him had failed, so we made the assessment that he should be transported to the Marine Mammal Rehabilitation Center in Vancouver. We administered some initial treatments and then worked with DFO, Department of Fisheries, to get the proper authorization to move him to our facility. On Chesterman's Beach in Tofino, the public was absolutely invaluable at providing support for the animal as we were preparing a plan and moving forward. We could not have done what we did without them. We certainly appreciated their support then and continue to appreciate their support.
Good job, everybody.
Great work, guys.
Watch out, the flippers, no fins. All right, okay.
We leave the towels?
3, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
We transported him in a vehicle back to the aquarium. In transit, we gave intravenous fluids to stabilize him, gave some dextrose, a sugar supplement, and evaluated some initial blood work. We performed diagnostics, other blood work, cultures, samples. Just try to start some rehydration therapy and get some nutrients into her essentially, and then from that point it'll be easier to maintain with sedation, so giving a little bit of diazepam instead of intramuscular midazolam. So after transporting back to the Marine Mammal Center, we moved him into one of our tanks, as you can see here behind me. We have been offering him bottle feedings, which he has not been taking all that readily, so we have been tube feeding him a fish formula to try to give him the best nutrition possible.
Well, right now we are tube feeding this little false killer whale calf. So he would normally be nursing with his mom, so he would not be eating solid fish. So the only way we can get a milk formula into him is by gavage, which means getting him to swallow a little tube and putting the food right into his stomach. And typically what happens with these guys is they get quite used to it, and they actually associate the tube with food, and they'll actually start swallowing it on their own when they're introduced to it. Right now, based on what we assume are his caloric needs, we are feeding him every 2 hours around the clock, so that's 12 times a day.
We have had staff with him 24 hours a day since arriving here on site. We are in the water with him, making sure that he is staying afloat, breathing properly, monitoring his respirations and his heart rate. We did an initial ultrasonographic examination evaluating the thoracic and abdominal cavities, looking for any obvious evidence of inflammation. We did not see any evidence of pleuritis or peritonitis, which would be inflammation in the chest or abdominal cavities. The gastrointestinal tract had normal contents for what we would expect to see, and normal loops of bowel that had good motility throughout. And the liver and the kidneys were evaluated and all appeared normal in our basic evaluation today.
I'm going to put it in transverse, rib shadows. I just want to see a solid, good line. And the reverberations are good, like if I can actually see.
We took some swabs of the blowhole. We're looking for common respiratory pathogens, seeing if we have any bacterial infection going on or fungal culture as well. So we'll get a lot of information in the next few days. So we also did oral swabs, so swabbing the gingiva to collect some cells. And there's not a lot of information about false killer whales, so there are several individuals at the labs across the country that are quite interested in a variety of samples. So we also collected another blood sample to monitor values in the complete blood count as well as the serum chemistry, as well as a series of serological testing to see what he has been exposed to when he was out in the wild. This is now the 4th day since we've had him here on site. We remain cautiously optimistic. At this time, he does have a very guarded prognosis, but we're doing the absolute best that we can, and we'll just take it day by day from here on.